high-value services to the entire world, we expect large investments in data centers in the coming months. The fifth layer is the energy layer. Friends, it's the commitment towards clean energy that our Honorable Prime Minister has always shown, and that's why in our country today, more than 50% of the power generation capacity is from the clean sources, from renewable sources. Our visionary Prime Minister has recently reformed the nuclear energy sector also, which is another very good sector for providing that base load of clean energy. We have a robust grid which has been practically rebuilt over the last 1 decade. In this context window, this is the context window in which we are building our AI ecosystem. Stanford University AI Index places India among the leading countries in AI adoption, AI talent, and AI diffusion. But we are also conscious of the challenges which are facing our IT industry. And to mitigate it, we are working with the industry and academia to upskill, reskill, and to build a new talent pipeline for this new intelligence age. While we harness the benefits of AI, we must also find collective solutions for mitigating the risks. By placing human safety and dignity at the heart of AI, we can move forward with conviction. Together, through this summit and through all the collective efforts and through the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, let us shape an AI future of the humans, by the humans, and for the humans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the welcome remarks. And before I move on, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to welcome our distinguished guests. We have with us His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, the Honorable President of France, who's joined us now. Please welcome him. The previous host of AI Summit was France, and it's indeed our privilege to welcome you here again this morning, President Emmanuel Macron. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to welcome Shri N. Chandrasekaran, Chairman of the Tata Group, to the dais to share his visionary insights on artificial intelligence. Please welcome Shri N. Chandrasekaran, Chairman, Tata Group.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Your Excellencies, Heads of State, policymakers, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an extraordinary privilege to be here this morning and participate in this AI Summit. India is a nation of AI optimists. Our enthusiasm is not surprising. Indians have witnessed the hugely ambitious digital infrastructure programs and what they can achieve. The largest digital identity system in the world, covering 1.4 billion people. A digital payment interface that accounts for half of the entire world's transactions. Over the past few years, under our Honorable Prime Minister's vision, India has treated AI as a strategic national capability, aligning the full stack from chips to systems to energy and to applications through Semicon India, an India AI mission, and most importantly, the recent reforms such as the Shanti Act for clean energy. We are building AI at scale with trust, resilience, and long-term competitiveness. AI is a foundational technology that cuts across all industries. AI is nothing artificial, it is real, because it learns from data and learns faster every day, and it is not based on any fixed rules. Third, AI can scale, and it scales pretty rapidly. Putting all this together, AI, to my mind, is the next big infrastructure. It is the infrastructure of intelligence. It will have a very profound impact, exactly the same way in the past other infrastructure changes have done, steam engines, electricity, or internet. Our mission should be to make AI work for every individual and every citizen in this country. We should put the AI tools in the hands of the lost person in the country and, in fact, on the earth. And that's the vision that we should all work towards. A couple of days ago, we witnessed 1,500 rural women here in Bharat Mandapam who had no background to computing, no background to digital tools. In a matter of few hours, could learn AI, could build products, could build marketing materials, campaigns, all in front of a global audience, and they did it in 4 hours. AI will have huge impact on our public services delivery. It will have huge impact on enterprises around the world. Since I come from the background of IT industry, one word for the IT industry. It is, in my opinion, the biggest opportunity for the tech sector and the IT industry, because the IT industry's real value is the context, an understanding of every enterprise's business and technology landscape, and make the right technology work inside the processes and the ecosystem, the supplier, customer, and all the other connections an enterprise has. AI will expand that role much further. It is the opportunity to integrate AI and AI agents into workflows, reimagine processes, and make it work, and carry out the transformation so that every enterprise can realize the moat and realize its vision. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Tata Group. At the Tata Group, we are adopting AI across the stack, from silicon to systems to AI-ready data centers to applications and AI agents. And we believe such a vision and such a journey is going to be extremely exciting, and it will require us to work with world-leading partners in India and across the globe. I would like to make 5 points. The Tata Group is establishing India's first large-scale AI-optimized data center, purpose-built for the next generation AI training and inference. I'm very happy to announce that we have partnered with OpenAI to build the first 100 megawatt capacity, which will scale to 1 gigawatt. And we made an announcement with AMD yesterday where we will combine the world-class AI rack architecture with Tata's strength in infrastructure, engineering, power, and solution capabilities to create a sustainable high-density AI capacity in India for global standards. The third, we are already building an AI data insights platform. Minister Ashwini articulated the layers of data architectures. What we are building is totally based on diverse Indian data sets on top of the foundational models, so intelligence becomes available across the diversity of Indian contexts. And the fourth, TCS and our other company, Tata Communications, together, we are building an AI operating system for industries. What we will do is to build agentic industry solutions for every industry. We are already well on that journey, and we will work with partners to be able to launch it and take it to all enterprises around the globe. And finally, again, I want to thank the vision of our Prime Minister which made it possible for us to make a serious foray into chips and semiconductors. What we will do next is to build chips that are very domain-centric, which will be totally AI optimized for every industry, and we will first launch or work towards getting it ready for the automotive sector. So these are the areas that we are focused on. I think it is the time for promise to take action into practice so that we can deliver prosperity. Finally, in conclusion, I just want to say that we are standing here at a very defining moment. It is the age of abundant intelligence, where the scarce resources are trust, stewardship, and human capability. So let us send out a simple standard for the AI decade. Capability with dignity, high impact for every watt of energy, and progress with agency and collaboration. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. N. Chandrasekharan, for your forward-looking address. Excellencies, please join me in welcoming Mr. Dario Amodei, CEO of Anthropic, a pioneer at the forefront of artificial intelligence, as I request him to address the esteemed gathering. Please welcome Mr. Dario Amodei.
First, I want to thank Prime Minister Modi for bringing us together. The energy and ambition in this room and across India are incredible. I've been spending the last few days meeting with Indian builders and enterprises, and the energy to build together here is palpable, unlike anywhere else. This is the 4th AI summit we've held since the tradition was initiated at Bletchley Park back in 2023, which I still remember. And in those 2.5 years, the advances in the technology have been absolutely staggering. Along with those, the advances in the commercial applications and the societal and ethical questions around the technology have only grown more urgent. My fundamental view is that AI has been on an exponential for the last 10 years, and as part of a sort of Moore's law for intelligence, and that we are now well advanced on that curve, and there are only a small number of years for AI models surpassing the cognitive capabilities of most humans for most things. We're increasingly close to what I've called a country of geniuses in a data center, a set of AI agents that are more capable than most humans at most things and can coordinate at superhuman speed. That level of capability is something the world has never seen before and brings a very wide range of both opportunities and concerns for humanity. On the positive side, we have the potential to cure diseases that have been incurable for thousands of years, to radically improve human health, and to lift billions out of poverty, including the global south, and create a better world for everyone. On the side of risks, I'm concerned about the autonomous behavior of AI models, their potential for misuse by individuals and governments, and their potential for economic displacement. India has an absolutely central role to play in these questions and challenges, both on the side of the opportunities and on the side of the risks. As a sign of our commitment, we just this week opened an office in Bengaluru and hired Irina Ghose, who has spent 3 decades building businesses in India as our managing director for Anthropic India. We've also announced partnerships with major Indian enterprises this week, including Infosys and others. On the opportunities, one dynamic that we have observed is that technology and practices pioneered in India have historically set a standard for the global south and have helped to diffuse technology and humanitarian benefits through the global south. We're therefore we have been partnering with for several months, nonprofits such as the XStep Foundation, Pratham, and Central Square Foundation to use our models to advance digital infrastructure, education, agricultural efficiency, and health, in the hopes of spreading AI's benefits across the Global South, starting with India and diffusing out to the rest of the Global South. We're also partnering with Karya and the Collective Intelligence Project to build evaluations and metrics of our model Claude's performance on India's many regional languages. On practical and locally relevant tasks, we'll benchmark like agriculture, legal tasks, and educational content. On the risks, India is the world's largest democracy and can be a partner and leader in addressing the global security and economic risks of the technology. We'd like to work with India on testing and evaluation of models for safety and security risks in the tradition that was started by many global and national AI security institutes that have been stood up around the world. Even more, we see a particularly strong opportunity to work with India on studying the economic questions as part of the New Delhi Frontier AI Impact Commitments, which we're excited to join. As part of our Anthropic Economic Futures Program and Anthropic Economic Index, we publish statistical insights into how AI impacts jobs in the economy. We're excited to increasingly share this information, exchange information with the Indian government to share insights and inform evidence-based policymaking, convene meetings with economists, labor leaders, and policymakers to adjust, to adapt to the economic impacts of AI. We believe that AI will greatly grow the economic pie, including in India and the Global South, but that because it is happening so fast, it may lead to a time of disruption. And we need to work together between companies and the government to better manage that time of disruption and bring better prosperity smoothly to all. I and Anthropic are very grateful to be part of all these efforts, and I'm honored to be here and working on these questions with all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Dario Amodei, for that illuminating address. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege now to welcome Shri Sundar Pichai, CEO, Alphabet and Google, for the keynote address. We look forward to his insights on the evolving role of artificial intelligence. Mr. Sundar Pichai.
Namaste. Thank you, Prime Minister Modi and distinguished leaders. It's wonderful to be back in India. Every time I visit, I'm struck by the pace of change, and today is no different. Back when I was a student, I often took the Coromandel Express train from Chennai up to IIT Kharagpur. To get there, we passed through Visakhapatnam, Vizag. I remember it being a quiet and modest coastal city brimming with potential. Now in that same city, Google is establishing a full-stack AI hub, part of our $15 billion infrastructure investment in India. When finished, this hub will house gigawatt-scale compute and a new international subsea cable gateway, bringing jobs and cutting-edge AI to people and businesses across India. Sitting on that train, I never imagined Vizag becoming a global AI hub. Just as I couldn't have imagined that one day I'd be spending time with teams figuring out how to put data centers into space. Or taking my parents for a fully autonomous car ride in San Francisco. Seeing a Waymo right through my 83-year-old dad's eyes, I saw the progress in a whole new light. Of course, he said he'd be more impressed if it worked on India's busy roads. Still working on that one, Dad. The progress shows what's possible when humanity dreams big. And no technology has me dreaming bigger than AI. It is the biggest platform shift of our lifetimes. We are on the cusp of hyper-progress and new discoveries that can help emerging economies leapfrog legacy gaps. But that outcome is neither guaranteed nor automatic. To build AI that is truly helpful for everyone, we must pursue it boldly, approach it responsibly, and work through this defining moment together. Why bold? Because AI can improve billions of lives and solve some of the hardest problems in science. For 50 years, predicting protein structures was a grand challenge and a blind spot that stalled drug discovery. Demis Hassabis and his team at Google DeepMind asked an audacious question: how could we use AI to solve this? That question led to AlphaFold. This breakthrough didn't just win a Nobel Prize, it compressed decades of research into a database that is now open to the world. Today, over 3 million researchers in more than 190 countries are using it to develop malaria vaccines, fight antibiotic resistance, and much more. And we are asking similarly bold questions across the scientific stack, from cataloging DNA disease markers to building AI agents that act as true partners in the scientific method. We must be equally bold in tackling problems in regions that have lacked access to technology. Take El Salvador, where Google has partnered with the government to bring affordable AI-powered diagnosis and treatment to thousands who could never afford to see a doctor. Or in India, where our work together is helping farmers protect their livelihoods in the face of monsoons. Last summer, for the first time, the Indian government sent AI-powered forecasts to millions of farmers, possible in part because of our neural GCM model. I see language inclusion as another exciting ambition. In Ghana, we are collaborating with universities and NGOs to expand research and open source tools across more than 20 African languages. We need this bold thinking in more places to tackle more problems across health, education, economic opportunity, and more. Technology brings incredible benefits, but we must ensure everyone has access to them. We cannot allow the digital divide to become an AI divide. That means investing in compute infrastructure and connectivity. I mentioned our Vizag investment, and we have others in Thailand, Malaysia, and more. We're also building a vast network of subsea fiber optic cables, including 4 new systems between the US and India, as part of our America-India Connect initiative announced yesterday. Responsibility also means navigating profound economic shifts. AI will undeniably reshape the workforce, automating some roles, evolving others, and creating entirely new careers. 20 years ago, the concept of a professional YouTube creator didn't exist. Today, there are millions around the world. Training is crucial. We have trained 100 million people in digital skills, and our new Google AI professional certificate will help people master AI in their jobs, available globally. Finally, trust is the bedrock of adoption. We have created tools like SynthID used by journalists and citizen fact-checkers globally to help verify the authenticity of the content you read and see. But no matter how bold we are or how responsible, we won't realize AI's full benefits unless we work together. Governments have a vital role that includes as regulators, setting important rules of the road and addressing key risks. And importantly, also as innovators, bringing AI to public services that improve lives and accelerating adoption of these technologies for people and businesses. There are glimmers of this from around the globe, from the Ugandan government using AI and satellite imagery to locate priority areas for electrification, to getting potholes fixed for residents more efficiently in Memphis, Tennessee, by using AI scans of road surfaces from buses. Tech companies must also step up, building products that boost knowledge, creativity, and productivity to help people achieve their dreams. And we also need companies of all sizes thinking about this, harnessing AI to innovate and transform their businesses and sectors, and to skill up and empower workers. We have the opportunity to improve lives at a once-in-a-generation scale. I know we have the capability to do this, and looking at the leaders here today, I believe we also have the will. Now we must do the work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sundar Pichai, for that warm and insightful address. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to invite His Excellency Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, to present his address. A global leader championing peace, cooperation, and sustainable progress. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome.
Prime Minister Modi, thank you for your kind invitation, and congratulations for India's leadership organizing the first AI summit in the Global South. Meeting in India has special meaning. It brings this conversation closer to the realities shaping much of the world. Because the future of AI cannot be decided by a handful of countries or left to the whims of a few billionaires. Last year, the UN General Assembly took two decisive steps. First, creating an independent international scientific panel on AI. And I'm happy to announce that the panel has now been appointed. These 40 leading experts from across regions and disciplines embody a clear message. AI must belong to everyone. We must replace hype and fear with shared evidence and close knowledge gaps. I urge member states, industry and civil society to contribute to the panel's work. Second, launching a global dialogue on AI governance within the United Nations, where all countries, together with the private sector, the academia, and the civil society, can have a voice. We need guardrails that preserve human agency, human oversight, and human accountability. And the first session of the dialogue in Geneva in July will give every country and every stakeholder a voice to align efforts, uphold human rights, and prevent misuse, and to advance our common safety measures, the foundation of interoperability. That builds trust across borders for regulators and businesses, and turns compatibility into opportunity. Your discussions here will culminate in the global dialogue. But without investment, many countries will be locked out of the AI age. AI must be accessible to everyone. That is why, encouraged by the General Assembly of the United Nations, I'm calling for a global fund on AI to build basic capacity in developing countries. Skills, data, affordable computing power, and inclusive ecosystems. Our target is $3 billion US. That is less than 1% of the annual revenue of a single tech company. A small price for AI diffusion that benefits all, include businesses building AI. I'm pleased that member states have responded to my call to form a global network for exchange and cooperation on AI capacity building in developing world. AI must benefit everyone. Done right, AI can advance sustainable development goals, accelerate breakthroughs in medicine, expand learning opportunities, strengthen food security, bolster climate action and disaster preparedness, and improve access to vital public services. But it can also deepen inequality, amplify bias, and fuel harm. As AI's energy and water demands soar, data centers and supply chains must switch to clean power and shift costs to vulnerable communities. We must invest in workers so AI augments human potential, not only replaces it. And AI must be safe for everyone. We must protect people from exploitation, manipulation, and abuse. No child should be a test subject for unregulated AI. Excellencies, the message of this summit is simple. Real impact means technology that improves lives and protects the planet. So let's build AI for everyone with dignity as the default setting. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Antonio Guterres, for your gracious address. Distinguished guests, it is my profound honor now to invite Honorable President of France, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, to address the august gathering. Let's extend a warm and respectful welcome to His Excellency, Emmanuel Macron.
Mr. Prime Minister, dear Narendra Modi, Head of State and Government, Ministers, Ambassadors, CEOs, ladies and gentlemen, Namaste. Thank you very much for welcoming us in this magnificent city, in this magnificent country. And it's great to be back after my 2024 state visit for this Artificial Intelligence Impact Summit hosted by you, Mr. Prime Minister. And I want to start with a story. 10 years ago, a street vendor in Mumbai could not open a bank account. No address, no papers, no access. And today, the same vendor accepts payments on his phone, instantly. Instantly, for free, from anyone in the country. That is not just a tech story. That is a civilization story. And India built something that no other country in the world has built. A digital identity for 1.4 billion people. A payment system that now processes 20 billion transactions every month. A health infrastructure that has issued 500 million digital health IDs. Here are the results. They call it the India Stack, open, interoperable, sovereign. That, dear friends, is what this summit is about. We are clearly at the beginning of a huge acceleration, and you perfectly described it during your interventions. But let me just recap during 1 year what happened. Last year, when France and India co-hosted the AI Action Summit in Paris, we set a global guiding principle for technologies that would transform our societies and our economies. We said then artificial intelligence will be an enabler for our humanity, to innovate faster, to disrupt healthcare, energy, mobility, agriculture, public services, for the good of mankind. Both of us, we do believe in this revolution. 1 year ago, the landscape started to shift. The US announced Stargate, China launched DeepSeek, AI has become a major field of strategic competition, and big tech got even bigger. And a lot of them are in this room and still accelerated during the last year. AI, GPU, chip tensions are now directly translated in geopolitical and macroeconomic terms. Sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst, I have to say. But clearly 1 year ago, we demonstrated something else. Hegemony from any quarter is not a fatality. There is a path for innovation, independence, and strategic autonomy. And this path, I'm convinced, is one of the countries like France and India must take together. And we've already achieved a lot. If we speak about models, you perfectly described the acceleration and the diversity of this model. India made a deliberate sovereign choice. SML, small language models. Task-specific, designed to run on a smartphone. And India built the first government-funded AI and deployed 38,000 GPUs at the cheapest rates to every startup in the country, as you perfectly described, Mr. Minister. We took a complementary path. We invested in European large language models, Mistral, founded in Paris a little bit more than 2 years ago, is now valued at 12 billion euro, backed by Dutch leader SML, German SAP, and French CMS AGM, serving over hundreds of major clients all over the place in Europe and elsewhere. They announced last week a new investment in data center in Sweden, and a new acquisition of Koyeb, building an actual European AI cloud. India chose granular and smart, and Europe chose sovereign and scaled. But both chose independence, and both were right. And this is as well the cooperation with LLMs coming from the US, and through cooperation, but cooperation based on mutual respect and independence, which could pave the way for progress. After the model of the infrastructure, you just described all the infrastructure made by a lot of large companies in India, and all of us, we are building new infrastructure, computing capacity. 1 year ago in Paris, we announced $109 billion in AI investments, and we are delivering this project with a lot of data centers, 58 billion euro in 2025, powered by our decarbonated nuclear energy. With a great asset, and this is very important indeed, to have low carbon and available energy. Last year, France exported 90 terawatt-hours of low carbon energy and pilotable energy, which is a huge opportunity to build faster and bigger data center. At the European level, 200 billion euro have been committed with the arrival of the Alice Lecoq exascale supercomputer, key component of our AI factory ambition shared with Netherlands and Greece, and we share the computer with them. Models, infrastructures, talents. India trains hundreds of thousands of AI engineers every year. With 500,000 engineers, India has the second largest developer community in the world. In France, we are doubling the number of AI scientists and engineers trained, and we've now more than 1,100 AI startups thriving in France, creating dozens, thousands of jobs. Harmattan AI partnering with Dassault, Gradium for voice AI, Poolside, Ash, Hugging Face. I could quote a series of these unicorns and large caps, and this is clearly one of our strengths. In quantum computing, the next frontier, France is not placing one bet. We are placing four technologies. 4 French companies, Pascal, Pandela, Alice and Bob, Quobly, and one ambition, to make Europe a quantum power, which is also the ambition of AMI Labs, Advanced Machine Intelligence Labs, from our dear Yann Lequin for Frontier Research. The smartest AI is not the most expensive. It is the one built by the best people and for the right purpose. Models, infrastructure, talents, capital, and adoption. This is where the Indian model is truly revolutionary, providing solutions for everyone in the country. From 200 million of Indian farmers in their own dialect, to travel advice for 400 million of pilgrims, or AI diagnostics for rural clinics, all running on India's digital public infrastructure. Open rails, near zero cost, adoption is key, and being inclusive is key. In Europe, our AI factories optimize energy grids, transform logistics, reinvent healthcare administration, and we are proving you can build a competitive AI industry while protecting your citizens' data. And opposite to what some misinformed friends have been saying, Europe is not blindly focused on regulation. Europe is a space for innovation and investment, but it is a safe space. And safe spaces win in the long run. I'm sure of that. Now, the point of this summit was not only to say, let's do more. It was to say, let's do better together. AI may be a powerful accelerator of productivity and a major shift for labor markets. This is why access to AI for all is critical. France and India share a common vision, a sovereign AI used to protect our planet and to foster prosperity for all. In health, we launched the Indo-French Institute for AI in Health, a partnership between Sorbonne's Brain Institute and EMS Delhi, and the partnership between Ash and St. John's Research Institute in Bangalore will use AI to transform hospital administration as well. In language, we jointly launched Current AI for sustainable and sovereign AI access. And this year, we announced an open hardware tool for translation into Indian languages and dialects, because AI that doesn't understand dialects is not AI for all. And this is why we do endorse this initiative for diversity in language. In sustainability, our Coalition for Sustainable AI now has more than 200 supporters. Today, with India and UNESCO, we launch an international challenge for sustainable AI models. Last year in Paris, we called it action. This year in Delhi, we call it impact. But the real name is simpler: AI together. AI and digitalization will be a key theme for the months to come. And the key theme of the Africa Forward Summit we will host with Kenya in Nairobi in May. The continent, the African continent, with the youngest population that will double in 25 years, deserves the best digital tools. And at a time when tensions are rising, there is an increased sense of urgency to direct all our digital tools towards this inclusive approach. And in order, indeed, to be strong here in India, but to be strong as well on the African continent. And let's focus all together towards bridging rather than dividing, creating rather than destroying, sharing rather than taking. France intends to use its G7 presidency to foster that vision. I know, Mr. Prime Minister, that India will do the same through your BRICS presidency. No country is bound to serve only as a market where foreign companies sell their models and download their citizens' data. No country. One of our G7 priorities will be as well children's protection against AI and digital abuse. You just mentioned it, Mr. Secretary General. There is no reason our children should be exposed online to what is legally forbidden in the real world. Our platforms, governments and regulators should be working together to make internet and social media a safe space. This is why, in France, we are embarking on a process to ban social networks for children under 15 years old. And we are committed here in this journey with a lot of several European countries being present here today. Greece, Spain. I know, Mr. Prime Minister, you will join this club. And this is a great news that India will join such an approach in order to protect children and teenagers. And we stand ready to take all necessary actions to ensure that our young citizens are truly safe, and wish to engage with all willing partners to make this vision happen for all. And this is a new coalition of willings in order to protect our children and teenagers. Protecting our children is not regulation as well. It is civilization. To conclude, the message I have come to convey is that we are determined to continue to shape the rules of the game. And to do with our allies, such as India, because we believe in core shared values: science, rule of law, global balance, efficient multilateralism, innovation for the benefit of all. Now is the time to channel our forces toward what works. Concrete action and solutions that make AI more sustainable, efficient, and accessible. Targeted funding to leverage talents and creativity. Appropriate rules to prevent abuse and protect all our citizens. Strong partnerships that help build new AI solutions, more safe and more sustainable. I want to thank all the governments and business leaders present in this room and engaged in this journey. I know your goodwill and now your commitment in order to deliver these concrete results. We do believe in innovation, but we do believe in a better place, in a better world as well. And I don't believe one second it's incompatible. And let me say one more thing about partnerships, because this is not a two-player game. Last week, India and the UAE announced a joint AI partnership, a supercomputing cluster, shared data centers and innovation corridor. And India brings the engineers and the frugal models, and the Gulf brings the capital and the infrastructure. And together, they build faster than either could alone. France knows this equation well. With UAE, we engaged and they committed billions of euros for innovation and data centers in our country, and this partnership creates more value together. This is not dependency. This is intelligent convergence between governments, with companies, large caps, startups, and this is clearly this intelligent convergence which can provide results. The old world said you compete or you lose. The new world says you connect or you fall behind. And I started with a story about a street vendor in Mumbai. 10 years ago, the world told India that 1.4 billion people could not be brought into the digital economy. India proved them wrong. Today, some say AI is a game only the biggest can play. That you need $400 billion to be in the race. That nothing can exist between the two blocks. India, France, Europe, together with our partners, those who believe in our approach, companies, governments, investors, might have a different way. The money race is important and we cannot discount it. But the outcomes and real value creation for our population is even more. The future of AI will be built by those who combine innovation and responsibility, technology with humanity. And India and France will help to shape this future together. And the journey has just begun. Jai Ho. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, for your visionary address and for strengthening the spirit of international cooperation in shaping the AI-powered future. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite Shri Ashwini Vaishnav, Honorable Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, to announce the New Delhi Frontier AI commitments.
Honorable Prime Minister, distinguished global leaders, industry partners, ladies and gentlemen, and the young friends. Today, it gives me great pleasure to announce a significant outcome of the India AI Impact Summit, the New Delhi Frontier AI Impact Commitments. Today, leading frontier AI companies, along with India's own innovators, such as Sarvam, BharatGen, Gyani, and Socket, have come together to make a set of voluntary commitments that reflect a shared vision for inclusive and responsible AI. Can we have the commitments displayed? Yes. These are two significant commitments. First, advancing understanding of real-world AI usage through anonymized and aggregated insights to support evidence-based policymaking on jobs, skills, and economic transformation. The second is strengthening multilingual and contextual evaluations of AI systems to ensure that AI works effectively across languages, cultures, and real-world use cases, especially in the Global South. Together, these efforts mark an important step towards shaping AI that is not only powerful, but also inclusive, development-oriented, and globally relevant. This initiative positions India at the forefront of building a global South-led perspective on AI governance, one that balances innovation with equity and real-world impact. I now invite the distinguished leaders of these organizations to kindly join us on the stage for this announcement. Sundar, Sam, Dario, Brad, Alexander, Joel, David, Andrew, Pratyush, Ganesh, Abhishek, and Bharat. Guys. I now invite Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to join the leaders in this major commitment out of the AI Impact Summit. Thank you, tech leaders. Friends, the leader who made this, who gave this vision to the world, I now invite Honorable Prime Minister for your inaugural address. Give a big round of applause for the Honorable Prime Minister.
Excellencies, honorable ministers, industry leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs, researchers, delegates, अन्य सभी महानुभाव, देवी और सज्जनों, नमस्ते। दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी और ऐतिहासिक एआई इम्पैक्ट समिट में आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन है। ये समिट जिस भारत में हो रही है, वो भारत 1/6 ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी को रिप्रेजेंट करता है। भारत दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी युवा आबादी का देश है, सबसे बड़े टेक टैलेंट पूल का केंद्र है, सबसे बड़े टेक एनेबल्ड इकोसिस्टम का उदाहरण है। भारत नई टेक्नोलॉजी बनाता भी है और उसे अभूतपूर्व तेजी से अपनाता भी है। नई टेक्नोलॉजी के प्रति उत्सुक 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की ओर से मैं आप सभी हेड्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट्स, ग्लोबल एआई इकोसिस्टम के लीडर्स और इनोवेटर्स का इस समिट में स्वागत करता हूं, आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। इस समिट का भारत में होना भारत के साथ ही पूरे ग्लोबल साउथ के लिए गर्व का विषय है। इस समिट में एआई जगत के हुज हू यहां पर मौजूद है। दुनिया के 100 से ज्यादा देशों का रिप्रेजेंटेशन, दुनिया के कोने कोने से यहां आए महानुभाव इसकी सफलता को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जा रहे हैं। इसमें यंग जनरेशन की जो उपस्थिति हमने देखी है वो एक नया विश्वास पैदा करती है। आमतौर पर नई टेक्नोलॉजी को लेकर कुछ लोगों में शुरुआती में संदेह होता है, लेकिन जिस तेजी और भरोसे के साथ दुनिया की युवा पीढ़ी एआई को स्वीकार कर रही है, उसकी ओनरशिप ले रही है, एआई का इस्तेमाल कर रही है, वो अभूतपूर्व है। यहां एआई समिट की एग्जीबिशन को लेकर भी बहुत उत्साह रहा है। खासकर यंग टैलेंट बहुत बड़ी संख्या में आया है। एग्रीकल्चर, सिक्योरिटी, दिव्यांगजनों की मदद, मल्टीलिंगुअल पॉपुलेशन की तमाम जरूरतों से जुड़े जो भी सॉल्यूशंस यहां प्रेजेंट किए गए हैं वो इस फील्ड में मेड इन इंडिया की ताकत और भारत की इनोवेटिव कैपेबिलिटीज का बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है। साथियों, मानव इतिहास में हर कुछ शताब्दियों के बाद एक टर्निंग पॉइंट आता है और वो टर्निंग पॉइंट सभ्यता की दिशा रीसेट करता है और वहीं से विकास की रफ्तार बदलती है। सोचने, समझने और काम करने के पैराडाइम बदलते हैं। और दिलचस्प बात यह है, जब हम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के उस दौर में होते हैं तब उसके वास्तविक इंपैक्ट का अंदाजा भी नहीं होता। जब पत्थरों से पहली बार स्पार्क निकला, किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि वही चिंगारी सिविलाइजेशनल की फाउंडेशन बनेगी। जब बोली को पहली बार लिपि में बदला गया, किसी ने नहीं जाना था कि रिटन नॉलेज फ्यूचर सिस्टम की बैकबोन बनेगी। जब पहली बार सिग्नल्स को वायरलेस ट्रांसमिट किया गया, किसी ने कल्पना नहीं की थी कि एक दिन पूरी दुनिया रियल टाइम में कनेक्ट होगी। साथियों, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस मानव इतिहास का ऐसा ही ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है। आज जो हम देख रहे हैं, जो प्रिडिक्ट कर रहे हैं, वो इसके इंपैक्ट का सिर्फ प्रारंभिक संकेत है। एआई मशीनों को इंटेलिजेंट बना रही है, लेकिन उससे भी अधिक मानव सामर्थ्य को कई गुना बढ़ा रही है। अंतर सिर्फ एक है, इस बार स्पीड भी अभूतपूर्व है और स्केल भी अप्रत्याशित है। पहले टेक्नोलॉजी का इंपैक्ट दिखने में दशकों लगते थे। आज मशीन लर्निंग से लर्निंग मशीन तक का सफर तेज भी है, गहरा भी है, व्यापक भी है। इसलिए हमें विजन भी बड़ा रखना है और जिम्मेदारी भी उतनी ही बड़ी निभानी है। वर्तमान पीढ़ी के साथ ही हमें इस बात की भी चिंता करनी है कि आने वाली पीढ़ियों के हाथों में हम एआई का क्या स्वरूप सौंप कर जाएंगे। इसलिए आज असली प्रश्न यह नहीं कि भविष्य में आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस क्या कर सकती है। प्रश्न यह है कि वर्तमान में हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के साथ क्या करते हैं। ऐसे प्रश्न मानवता के सामने पहले भी आए हैं। सबसे सशक्त उदाहरण है न्यूक्लियर पावर। हमने उसका डिस्ट्रक्शन भी देखा है और सकारात्मक कंट्रीब्यूशन भी देखा है। एआई भी एक ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव पावर है। दिशाहीन हुई तो डिसरप्शन, सही दिशा मिली तो सॉल्यूशन। एआई को मशीन सेंट्रिक से ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक कैसे बनाएं, संवेदनशील और उत्तरदायी कैसे बनाएं, यही इस ग्लोबल एआई इंपैक्ट समिट का मूल उद्देश्य है। साथियों, भारत एआई को किस दृष्टि से देखता है, उसका स्पष्ट प्रतिबिंब इस समिट की थीम में है। सर्वजन हिताय, सर्वजन सुखाय, वेलफेयर फॉर ऑल, हैप्पीनेस ऑफ ऑल। यही हमारा बेंचमार्क है। एआई के लिए इंसान सिर्फ डेटा पॉइंट न बन जाए, इंसान सिर्फ रॉ मटेरियल तक सीमित न रह जाए। इसलिए एआई को डेमोक्रेटाइज करना होगा, इसे इंक्लूजन और एम्पावरमेंट का माध्यम बनाना होगा, और विशेष रूप से ग्लोबल साउथ में। साथियों, हमें एआई को ओपन स्काई भी देना है और कमांड भी अपने हाथ में रखना है। जैसे जीपीएस होता है, जीपीएस हमें रास्ता सुझाता है, लेकिन हमें किस डायरेक्शन में जाना है इसकी फाइनल कॉल हमारी ही होती है। आज हम एआई को जिस दिशा में लेकर जाएंगे वैसा ही हमारा भविष्य तय होगा। साथियों, आज न्यू दिल्ली एआई इंपैक्ट समिट में मैं एआई के लिए MANAV मानव विजन प्रस्तुत करता हूं। मानव का अर्थ होता है ह्यूमन, और मानव विजन कहता है एम, मोरल एंड एथिकल सिस्टम्स, यानी एआई एथिकल गाइडेंस पर आधारित हो। ए, अकाउंटेबल गवर्नेंस, यानी ट्रांसपेरेंट रूल्स, रोबस्ट ओवरसाइट। एन, नेशनल सॉवरेनिटी, यानी जिसका डेटा उसका अधिकार। ए, एक्सेसिबल एंड इंक्लूसिव, यानी एआई मोनोपोली नहीं, मल्टीप्लायर बने। वी, वैलिड एंड लेजिटिमेट, यानी एआई लॉफुल और वेरीफाइबल हो। भारत का ये मानव विजन 21वीं सदी की एआई आधारित दुनिया में मानवता के कल्याण की अहम कड़ी बनेगा। साथियों, दशकों पहले जब इंटरनेट की शुरुआत हुई तो कोई सोच भी नहीं पाता था कि इससे कितनी जॉब्स बनेगी। यही बात एआई में है। आज कल्पना करना मुश्किल है कि आने वाले समय इस फील्ड में किस तरह की जॉब पैदा होगी। एआई का फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क प्री डिफाइंड नहीं है। ये हमारे निर्णय पर, हमारे कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन पर निर्भर होगा। मैं समझता हूं हमारे लिए फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी है। ये ह्यूमंस और इंटेलिजेंट सिस्टम्स के साथ मिलकर काम करने का युग है। वी आर एंटरिंग एन एरा where humans and intelligent systems co-create, co-work and co-evolve. एआई हमारे काम को और अधिक स्मार्ट, एफिशिएंट और इंपैक्टफुल बनाएगा। हम बेहतर डिजाइन करेंगे, तेज बिल्ड करेंगे और बेहतर डिसीजन ले सकेंगे। इससे और ज्यादा लोगों को हायर वैल्यू, क्रिएटिव और मीनिंगफुल रोल्स भी मिलेंगे। ये इनोवेशन, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप और न्यू इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए बड़ा मौका है। इसलिए हमें स्किलिंग, रीस्किलिंग और लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग को मास मूवमेंट बनाना होगा। साथियों, फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क इंक्लूसिव, ट्रस्टेड और ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक होगा। अगर हम मिलकर आगे बढ़ें तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पूरी मानवता की क्षमता को नई ऊंचाइयों तक ले जाएगी। साथियों, कहा जाता है सनलाइट is the best disinfectant, यानी पारदर्शिता ही सबसे बड़ी सुरक्षा है। कुछ देश और कंपनियां मानती है कि एआई एक स्ट्रैटेजिक एसेट है, इसलिए इसे कॉन्फिडेंशियल तरीके से डेवलप किया जाना चाहिए। लेकिन भारत की सोच अलग है। हम मानते हैं कि एआई जैसी तकनीक तभी दुनिया के लिए लाभकारी होगी जब उसे शेयर किया जाएगा, जब कोड ओपन होंगे और शेयर किए जाएंगे, तभी हमारे मिलियंस ऑफ यंग माइंड्स उन्हें बेहतर और सुरक्षित बना पाएंगे। इसलिए आइए हम ये संकल्प लें कि एआई को ग्लोबल कॉमन गुड के रूप में विकसित किया जाएगा। साथियों, आज की एक बहुत बड़ी आवश्यकता ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाने की भी है। डीप फेक्स और फैब्रिकेटेड कंटेंट ओपन सोसाइटीज में अस्थिरता ला रहे हैं। फिजिकल वर्ल्ड में हम फूड पर न्यूट्रिशन लेबल देखते हैं ताकि हमें पता हो कि हम क्या खा रहे हैं। ठीक उसी तरह डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में कंटेंट पर भी ऑथेंटिसिटी लेबल्स होने चाहिए ताकि लोगों को पता हो कि क्या असली है और क्या AI से बनाया गया है। जैसे जैसे AI ज्यादा टेक्स्ट, इमेजेस और वीडियोज बना रहा है, वैसे वैसे इंडस्ट्री में वाटरमार्किंग और क्लियर सोर्स स्टैंडर्ड्स की जरूरत बढ़ती जा रही है। इसलिए ये जरूरी है कि ये विश्वास टेक्नोलॉजी में शुरू से बिल्ट इन हो। साथियों, हमें चिल्ड्रन सेफ्टी के प्रति और अधिक सजग होना होगा। जैसे स्कूल का सिलेबस क्यूरेटेड होता है, वैसे ही AI स्पेस भी चाइल्ड सेफ और फैमिली गाइडेड होना चाहिए। फ्रेंड्स, आज दुनिया में दो तरह के लोग हैं। एक, जिन्हें AI में भय दिखता है, वो हमेशा वैसी ही बात करते हैं। ऐसे लोग जिन्हें AI में भय दिखता है, और दूसरे वो जिन्हें AI में भाग्य दिखता है। और साथियों, मैं जिम्मेवारी के साथ कहता हूं, गर्व के साथ कहता हूं, हमें भय नहीं, भारत को AI में भाग्य दिखता है, भारत को AI में भविष्य दिखता है। हमारे पास टैलेंट भी है, एनर्जी कैपेसिटी भी है और पॉलिसी क्लैरिटी भी है। और मुझे आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी है कि इस समिट में 3 भारतीय कंपनियों ने अपने AI मॉडल्स और एप्स लॉन्च किए हैं। ये मॉडल्स हमारे यूथ के टैलेंट को दिखाते हैं और भारत जो सॉल्यूशंस दे रहा है, उसकी डेप्थ और डाइवर्सिटी का भी प्रतिबिंब है। साथियों, भारत सेमीकंडक्टर और चिप मेकिंग से लेकर क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग तक एक रिजिलिएंट इकोसिस्टम बना रहा है। सिक्योर डेटा सेंटर्स, मजबूत IT बैकबोन, डायनेमिक स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम भारत को एफोर्डेबल, स्केलेबल और सिक्योर AI सॉल्यूशंस का नेचुरल हब बनाते हैं। भारत के पास डाइवर्सिटी भी है, डेमोग्राफी भी है और डेमोक्रेसी भी है। जो AI मॉडल भारत में सक्सीड करता है, वो ग्लोबली डिप्लॉय हो सकता है। इसलिए मैं आप सभी को आमंत्रित करता हूं, डिजाइन एंड डेवलप इन इंडिया, डिलीवर टू द वर्ल्ड, डिलीवर टू ह्यूमैनिटी। एक बार फिर आप सभी को मेरी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, for your guiding words. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, is a visionary leader who envisions that progress should uplift every citizen and leave no one behind. And reflecting his vision, the address of the Honorable Prime Minister was presented in sign language live through artificial intelligence, marking a significant step towards accessibility and inclusivity. Guided by the 3 pillars of people, planet and progress, from the timeless principle of Sarvajan Hitai, Sarvajan Sukhai, to the vision of sovereign AI and AI sovereignty, India's approach is impact-oriented and people-centric. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished guests, including His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, and to all the global leaders, speakers, and delegates for their august presence. Thank you all for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, from India's perspective, India's development journey in AI is focused on development of AI for the global south, from limited ownership of AI to inclusive participation. That's India's approach to AI. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence has reaffirmed our
तो आपने संबोधन सुना?
So day 4 of the India AI Impact Summit, seeing powerful, power-packed addresses by several key leaders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving this clarion call to devise AI for the world, deliver for humanity. Emmanuel Macron also making very important statements to co-create and co-work and devise a future where AI is inclusive and accessible for all.
Yes, there's a clear-cut vision as well, which Prime Minister Modi described as, or put across as Manav acronym, really, where all the values related to AI which have been espoused by not just India but several other countries. France is a partner, they've espoused similar values where it should be moral and ethical, it should have transparent rules, robust oversight, national sovereignty, acceptable and inclusive, valid and legitimate. All these values have been espoused by a large segment of the world, really, and India coming forth and putting it across as the view of the global south as well, because that is how India sees not only AI's progress but the progress of entire humanity.
Indeed, and the word Manav means human in Hindi, and you have to create a model, an AI model, which is human-centric and not just limited to machines. That was the emphasis of the address. Another highlight of the addresses by Prime Minister Modi and President Macron was to minimize the abuse of AI, which could happen to children under the age of 16. Then we also saw the New Delhi frontier of AI commitments being launched, and the several tech leaders of the world and of India were part of this New Delhi frontier of AI commitments. The goal is to have impactful AI, which is actually the theme of the summit. Sarvajan Hitai, Sarvajan Sukhai, welfare for all, welfare for humanity.
Let's take across to our guests as well. Let me introduce once again, we have a new panel, so to speak, of guests as well. We have with us Subhamal Bhattacharjee, a well-known strategic and IT expert. We also have Nirman Agarwal, founder Beanbag AI and Cruisecale. If I could ask you, Subhamal, standout feature, not just the speeches by the leaders, but also this frontier agreement, because I don't think in any of the AI summits earlier, we've seen declarations coming out which basically leaders put out. But here you have the industry leader, so to speak, of the ecosystem coming together and putting out these commitments. That tells us that things are looking very, very positive for taking AI forward in the kind of manner that these leaders have been espousing and they've been, in fact, pressing for.
So to say, corporate taking the responsibility.
Absolutely. I think the impact of the AI Impact Summit has just been felt, and that's the announcement where you saw the the efforts out of India, Sarvam, Bharat and all of them now coming and laying on the global platform how India has come up to scale and is going to take the whole AI journey forward on a much responsible and wider scale. The Prime Minister's pitch on Manav, I think, has summed up everything. The democratization of IT that we have been, or AI that we have been speaking about, the focus on responsible AI, the focus on inclusiveness, all of that I think Manav has captured very well. And in the whole ecosystem that has been tried to be, fostered in this country in the last couple of years. And I liked French president mentioning the strategic angle also, the Stargate as well as the DeepSeek story, and why there is a much larger story beyond that strategic angle. That's what I think, that's the capture that the government has been working on, and I think the Prime Minister through Manav has put it very clearly on the world stage.
Okay, we also have with us Professor Rahul Mishra, School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, who has been with us since the beginning of the program. Professor Rahul, what did you make of those powerful, impactful addresses? AI being democratized for all, the vision being shared by everyone, every stakeholder there?
Yes, absolutely. You use very appropriate words, powerful and impactful. These speeches by all the leaders, Prime Minister Modi, French President Macron, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, these speech also Sundar Pichai and the representative from Tata. I think the essence of all these speeches is one, of course, captured in Prime Minister's very eloquent, incisive speech. And the term for this vision, Manav, of course, captures it all, but also the ideas that French president gave using technology and India-France partnership in making technology responsible. So connecting responsibility and ethical use, protecting children and civilization from unethical use of artificial intelligence, that is something that has to be kept in mind. I think he made a very good point in saying that technology has to serve humanity. The regulations, upcoming regulations, whether it is in France or at the global level, initiatives that are designed to create regulatory mechanisms are not for regulation, to use the French president's words, not for regulation, but for civilization. I think that is where the message lies. And if you connect this with the speech of the UN Sec General, the 2 steps that United Nations has kind of started and they are working on it will lead to greater dissemination of knowledge, of course, with the expert group, but also this global funding. So reaching out to the global south, with India taking the lead, is something that will, I think, in the long run, make lasting impact on India's AI goal, India's AI mission, but also how it impacts the global south and the wider international community.
Wonderful. Okay, we have Nirman Agarwal as well. He's founder of 2 AI startups. Nirman, if I could ask and get your perspective on what the leader said, particularly the frontier agreement that has taken place between the who's who really of the ecosystem, the AI ecosystem. They are the ones who are determining to a large extent the future of AI as well through their work. What does it mean to you as a founder of 2 AI startups?
I think it's phenomenal that India is taking lead in and bringing together all the other countries that are being left out by US and China in the world of AI. So I believe India can really make a lot of good happen with AI for the world. Because
and it's interesting how the US government may not be on board, but the US corporate world in the IT sector, in the AI sector, is on board here.
Yeah, because they all see a very important thing in India, which is data. So data has exhausted in US for training their models probably. So that the last bastion where data is accessible, and it is not in China, and it is accessible in India. So for them, it's important to be part of this entire revolution that is happening, as AI is like being invested in by everybody, including the government. So, and Indian government is a lot more inclusive in its work, in its way of approaching AI compared to other countries. So for them also it becomes easier to kind of move forward, invest, build trust. So all of these things add up to like each company figuring out their space in the world of AI that India is showcasing to the world. That okay, let's build sovereign models from India. We will make everybody else get access to this AI that's being built in India, applications that are being built in India. You come, you build with us. So we're not closing AI to the world, we're opening it up. And we're also saying that we'll also make it more auditable, we're making it more trustworthy. So as we keep these pillars on which AI is going to build, it is only going to land well with the final consumer.
Okay. But Shubham, isn't it a source of a bit of an unease that the Chinese are not on board at all in terms of their companies and the government, both?
Well, I think that's a very important point. As even the French president alluded to, the strategic angle in which the tech ecosystem and AI ecosystem is playing out, and that's where the Chinese are absolutely silent, and they always bring surprises around the whole.
All right, Subimal, I request you to stay on with us as we take you again to the Bharat Mandapam, where the leaders are posing for a group photograph here. We have several heads of state and heads of government. We see Brazil President Lula da Silva, French President Emmanuel Macron, sharing stage with Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yeah, Tanvi, in such gatherings, they call it a family photo, really, in terms of all the top heads of state and government standing in one frame. And this is one issue that they're showing that they are together on, which is how artificial intelligence should evolve, where, of course, there are divergent approaches in the world. It's very, very significant. Just look at the kind of pantheons of leaders that are there. You see the part of the developed world there and a part of the global south too. So this is far more representative than many of the other gatherings that we've seen around the world.
Yes, indeed. And of course, in the words of Emmanuel Macron, AI is no longer a game only the big players can play. The question will be of creating rather than destroying and sharing the AI technology with everyone. So we see a sizable Europe presence here, sizable global south presence here, as India hosts one of the biggest ever global AI summits of the global south.
And it's not about building AI bigger and faster, but it's all about building AI better. That distinction itself should be very, very significant, isn't it?
Absolutely. And as I see the photo, I am immediately reminded of the Prime Minister's another significant comment, that AI should be global commons. That's a very, very significant statement if I relate to this photo, because if you go back to, Elinor Ostrom, the first Nobel Prize lady winner in economics, she had espoused this theory of global commons about how different things get into it. And there was quite a bit of debate happening in the tech world that this cannot become a part of the global commons. All other issues could be. But look at the vision and the message that the Prime Minister has given. Now we take leadership on this whole aspect of getting AI as a global commons, and that is where the whole pitch of Manav also fits in very well, and you are able to carry everyone along. The strategic angle, the push that what Americans have been taking, what the position the Europeans have taken, by and large, and of course the surreptitious Chinese position in all of that. When you look at the global south, whose costs we have espoused very, very clearly right from the inception in which the planning happened for this summit, and now pushing across this whole concept of global commons, I think we are going to lead this whole AI ecosystem and the diplomacy around the world. And I'm so happy that the United Nations Secretary was sitting there and seeing this whole thing effort, because many of the United Nations efforts around this whole ecosystem were always stigmatized by, say, US or China trying to pull the strings in their own way. So the larger, committee of nations, that's where, we need to help. That's what we did when we had our G20 presidency, when we took the DPI story, and now everyone accepts us. And everywhere I have seen that interest that the AI effect or the post the AI Impact Summit, this also should become the larger DPI that we are, giving to the world. So I think we have a great story to say, and we have really taken the leadership on this front.
A word there from you, Professor Rahul Mishra. Of course, Emmanuel Macron also praised India's DPI story. He said when the world did not believe that India could provide a digital identity to 1.4 billion Indians, India proved everyone wrong.
Yes, exactly. I think that was a kind of a testament coming from one of the members of the UN Security Council, Tanvi. So this indeed is a great message by one of the really the two engines of European Union, France, saying that India's journey so far in providing digital public platform has been remarkable. It is commendable, and it now has a global presence. So that message is very clear. India's role, the way India is perceived, if you connect the two speeches of Prime Minister Modi and President Macron, it gets very clear that even in the context of US-China strategic rivalry, where resources, Prime Minister Modi alluded to that, that some countries use or perceive AI as a strategic asset, India is not going to use it as a strategic asset, a closed platform. Rather, it is going to use it as a transparent, inclusive platform meant for people. I think that is a great message. Alongside, if you revisit the French president's speech, he said that Europe is a safe space when it comes to artificial intelligence. And he highlighted the point that in the long run, safe spaces are the ones which are going to win. So I think we have to connect these two, inclusivity, transparency, as a global common artificial intelligence, but also being a safe space. If we are able to create, a space like that with India and France and other leaders, countries from other parts of the world, I think the message is pretty clear. It's something that UN has already kind of approved of, that India will have a leadership role here. And this global initiative involving the global South, but also global North, is really the new wave of multilateralism, where every willing partner will have a stake. So it's a coalition of willing. I think the Chinese absence is, of course, conspicuous, but well, we understand that China uses artificial intelligence as a strategic asset. It does not want to share technology. It does not want to share know-how. And I think China will be called out in the short to medium term for its actions, and perhaps that will compel it to either come on board reluctantly, or there will be a space meant for coalition of the willing, where China will not have a role. So far as the Americans go, I think a very good point made in the panel, that the American companies are interested in investing in India, in partnering with India and the global South. The American government at the moment is not, but that is something that perhaps will change at one point, because America sees its interests aligned with the wider interests of democracies, countries that believe in a rules-based order. So America, I think, will at one point come on board.
Right. Nirman, how do you see this? Do you see this, and is it going to be a successful attempt to redefine victory itself in this AI race? Because that's what is being conveyed here, that it's better to build an AI which takes the maximum number of people along, is meant to serve the maximum number of people, respond to their daily challenges or challenges around employability, better making more money, improving their lives, than just outdoing each other.
So let's look at AI as a tool to better our lives. It's not anything beyond that. It cannot replace us. It's only going to make our lives better. So the world doesn't end if AI becomes better. So if we look at using AI for the global good, it will be a tool. But if we start looking at it as a strategic asset, then our direction is towards making AI that is only good for a small set of people. Then you're trying to just look for your own good, and that is not the right way. If it is done in the way that India is trying to do that, okay, can we create it for the global good? Then you're looking at value addition to every individual on the planet. And if that value addition actually happens, everybody adopts it. And if everybody adopts it and trusts it, then it remains with us for longer. If people start to distrust AI, then it doesn't land well. There's no point anybody investing if people don't trust AI. If you and I don't trust AI, we'll not use it. If we don't use it, what's the point in investing so much?
Okay, Subimal, there was also a proposal there by Antonio Guterres, UN chief, to have a global fund of AI, and he proposed a sum of $3 billion US. Are we going near to the point when every country is on board for this international sort of agreement, consensus on AI rules and a global fund of AI?
Yeah, I think the effort has to really start from that perspective, the coming together of nations, or I would more say the stakeholders, where other entities also join in. See, the efforts around the tech by the UN for some time has gone through the group of governmental experts route, and finally in 2023 a certain 13 principles or rather norms, non-binding norms were announced, and based on which the open-ended working group of the UN worked, and finally they have a document that is a guidance. Now for AI, a similar exercise from the UN has to be harmonized. I think the possibility of getting this started, and again India taking a lead in this, would be very, very important. I mentioned a little while back that the US and others always don't want really encompassing role of the UN system in this whole tech area. They think that the private sector should be leading on all fronts. Hence, the nations and everyone don't get along. So that politics has to be handled and nurtured also. But the concept of the fund available really helps, because again it espouses that same cause on which we are trying to look at how do we get the global south more integrated into the system, how do we help them come to par, and then also get the global north to look at this far much more with an open lens. In the current geopolitics shift and churn that you see, that's a space that has also been created where many countries in the global north also look at that middle path in which we look at it. And the French president made a very significant statement, if you have seen, that big
tech.
Yeah, big tech got bigger because of AI. Now this again is significant because when Nirman and his company comes on the global scale, and there would be plenty of startups on AI from here, they are the ones, they must have their space. They come and fill many critical gaps. The big techs cannot come and devour him or 10 of the other things, and also that's also something enabling that has to be done. Otherwise, the big tech will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally, and nowadays in many places they are on top, even on politics and geopolitics. They determine so many outcomes. So I think that is where the leadership from India is very crucial, and we are going absolutely on a right path. Not only what we are doing domestically here, but in the global strategic scenario around AI, that whole Manav is a very clear canvas which we see that it's inclusive. We allow Nirman to grow, survive, and gain his own strength, rather than a Google coming and trying to say, I'll pay you this much and you come on my fold. Yeah. So that is where the value of the UN also remains, that is where the fund also remains, and that is where India's leadership really comes out.
Right, and especially when you talk about carrying some, everyone along, Professor Mishra, President Macron made the point about Africa as well. It will have the youngest population for at least 2.5 decades to come. And India, France and these other nations perhaps are the best bet for Africa as well, because of the kind of worldview that they have and the kind of view that they have taken on AI as well. And Africa can then be a significant contributor too in the coming days.
Yes, absolutely. We know that India is a major stakeholder in the African continent as a developmental partner, as a country that has provided a lot of grants and line of credit. But France equally, partly due to their colonial presence there during the colonial time, France also has substantive stakes in the region. And the next meeting that is to be held in Kenya, I believe, will pave the path for greater collaboration. I think here, what President Macron said, three very interesting points I thought. One was the look at the diplomatic level. India and the international community, you have to look at your, what President Macron termed as intelligent congruence. You have to look at your the deliverables not only on ethical and moral side, but also in terms of transactional tangible gains. So I think intelligence congruence is important. In the African continent, India could play a really significant, rather a unique role, because of the real value creation, not using a lot of investment, a lot of like really big investments and big tech, but technology, AI technology and platforms that are not that expensive, but can make real changes, substantive changes in common people's life. And that is what perhaps Africa is looking at. So I think that's a very important point. Coming to India-France collaboration, I think, again, his message was very clear. If you, and he said that in the past, you compete or you lose. But in today's times, especially in the AI context, you connect or you fall behind. So the message for India is clear. But the message for the both a kind of coalition of willing from both global north and south is clear, that you have got to connect and you have to collaborate, co-create, and reach out to partners that are not capable of developing these capacities on their own. And Africa is really where India and France and Global South and United Nations are all interested, because there are challenges which are grave to the humanity, whether it is healthcare system or providing potable water, whether it is infrastructure, electricity, or alleviating people from poverty. So I think Africa presents a very good opportunity on humanitarian ground, and to make AI a global common in real sense of the term.
Yeah, I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi also made a very commercially pertinent point there, that if a technology is deployed in India, it could very well be deployed elsewhere in the world. And that's how we can all be commercially relevant as well. Nirman, I would like to ask you next that, yes, small startups, what role do they play in AI transformation in our country, and what more do they want from the government of India in terms of policy initiatives, credit support, and so on?
I'll answer the second question first. So I think Indian government is already doing some really big, good things, which is building sovereign models and investing in them, like figuring out the right capital structure for them. So if that happens at scale, you're looking at the cost of AI going down, let's say 1/100th of what it is today. And if that happens, companies like us or individuals like yourself will be able to build with AI at peanuts. So that will allow hundreds and thousands and millions of people to innovate, think what is possible. So suddenly we are reimagining how everybody is going to work with AI. And that can only happen when somebody can really bring the cost down of AI. And that can happen only in India. It cannot be done by anybody else.
Because of our large population.
Large population, we have data. We have data that nobody else has at the scale that we have.
But the other challenge is the energy cost as well, because you can only bring down the cost to a certain extent right now. The solutions to powering AI, as they come, it will become more efficient, it will become even more cheap.
It will.
As it's happened with photovoltaic cells.
Yes, and AI is also going to be used to create more efficient energy resources.
Okay.
So it is also like...
Could you elaborate on that?
So, see, there's
sodium-ion batteries, for instance.
Yes. Why not? Like, you see, we are only thinking of AI being used in software. AI can be used even to create new materials, new logics to the way batteries run. It's left to our imagination, right? What we want to use it for, like the Prime Minister said. So if we use it in the right direction to create more sustainable way of like producing energy, we only feed into creating more cheaper AI for the global good.
And the challenge is also in storing energy, so that's where AI has...
Of course, we are already trying to solve it. There are multiple companies that Indian government is backing as well, which are working on like battery storage technology. So it's like the work is happening in all possible directions. And we just need to make sure that most of these ideas work.
And in terms of having more and more data centers around the country?
I think there's massive investment that has already happened just in the last 1 week. I mean...
And I think more GPUs are also being launched for AI
yes.
to be evolved.
I'm sure all of us are only going to keep hearing that this investment has only increased, because as it shows output, the investment is only going to keep adding. So it's entirely up to the first set of companies to show that, okay, this works. And if that works, you will have hundreds of other companies lining up to say, okay, I'll build in India.
And do you feel that as Shubham was also mentioning that indigenous, if you have sovereign AI, the companies that are part of that endeavor should also be protected. There should be some kind of a firewall around them as well, so that they're not acquired by bigger companies, multinational companies.
I agree completely. like, because India is figuring out a new capital structure for them. So why should anybody else get the benefit of what the hard work government of India has done? So it should remain our heritage. It should remain with us, and it should be protected. I completely agree with you on that.
AI Commons, perhaps coming in a way like we say about Creative Commons. Okay, there is a bigger question now I'm going to put across. In our so many interviews we had prior to the summit, the general sentiment coming to develop AI was that AI scientists should work with social scientists in the times to come. Is that a possibility here? Do you see it coming, Subimal?
Yeah, definitely. I think, already a lot of collaboration is happening, where basically what are you trying to achieve? You are trying to go into, many of the areas where expertise around the theories and policies actually need to be considered by the scientists when they are developing their models or even any kind of a solution. So I think that effort has happened. The other part is that a lot of people who have been working in the academics in US or even in Europe, many are coming back now to start AI models and all. Yesterday I moderated a panel where I had 2 of them coming, and these are big ones. So I think that we have to find much more inclusive way in which we are able to foster those connections across the country and all. It's just not looking at only the IITs or the NITs. I think a lot of private universities also produce some brilliant minds. Take the story of Digantara, the space startup. It's from lovely professional university. It's now making waves across the world. So that possibility of connecting them is really there, and the efforts that we have done when we do the smart hackathon and all, that's where we kind of cross-pollinate. Some entity from South is doing with some education institution in Northeast and all. I think taking all of that, taking the Atal Tinkering Lab ideas, taking the universities, social sciences to look at more from and understand the nuances of technology, I think all of that has to run as a mission mode. The government is alive to all those changes. The whole effort around the 5 layers on which the whole AI ecosystem in the country is working has elements where skilling and
reskilling, yes.
Yeah, reskilling is very, very important. So in that we have to get the universities get involved more. NAILIT of the MEITI, which provides a lot of trainings around AI tools also. I have seen them grow like, now of course it's a deemed university, but they have gone to far-flung places and they find a lot of interest happening, and the many of these projects are actually with university or some social science department across the country. So if you look at all of them, I think we have a much, you can say, something to feel proud that we have already started the journey. We have to see that, how do we get more people into that fold.
Okay, Professor Mishra, would you like to add to that? How can AI be integrated in education? So AI in education and education for AI, so that we have what do you say, responsible and resilient AI coming to the fore rather than just AI?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'll speak on behalf of my community, the social scientists. You cannot do it without the social scientists, because it's an economist, it's a sociologist, it's a person working on public policy or social work. They are the ones who have the ability, who can help the government in many ways to make sure that AI technology and dissemination of information, the diffusion of technology reaches to the poorest of poor people. It becomes a part of national public discourse. It is used in ways that are suitable to the people and their interests, and it becomes a part of national campaign. So I think there, not only in terms of theorizing it, but also making it a part of public intellectual discourse and public common people's discourse. So we need public intellectuals who do that. In terms of a social scientist and education sector, In international relations, we know that at one point, artificial intelligence, the technology, the know-how, and the whole game will be securitized. That means it will become part of national policies, governments and their approaches, both on the civilian, that is economic and social practices, but also defense and military sectors. So I think the untapped potential of social sciences and social scientists and their potential contribution in making it AI an integral part of education system is something that is yet to be seen. And I'm hopeful that steps will be taken to make AI a key component, a core component of India's education policy and India's public policy discourse.
Certainly. Well, let me just tell our viewers that while the PM was speaking, Tanvi, they could see the hearing impaired, the bot for the hearing impaired there. Also at the same time, along with Sarvam and DD News' own IT team, Prime Minister's speech real time was also broadcast in 11 regional languages as well with the help of artificial intelligence. But let me talk about an aspect, Sumal, of well, something related to AI which has not been talked about so far, which is investments. Now the PM's speech, or that of any other leader for that matter who spoke there, wasn't really directly anywhere in investment pitch. But clearly, if you look at the kind of future for AI which has been projected particularly by India and those who are aligned with India, it calls for a lot of investment as well. But investment for what purpose is something that has been clearly enunciated now.
Well, you know, Mr. Pichai mentioned about that $15 billion investments in Andhra Pradesh, but leave aside that one big announcement, there are plenty of investments happening even from Indian companies now in those 5, layers. To take from the application layer right down to the energy layer. In every aspect, there are investments that are happening by Indian companies also.
Tata announced with AMD, I think.
Yeah, that again was a big announcement. Reliance has investment significantly on the GPU ecosystem. So I think as people get the confidence, and I think that this whole summit has been able to put that in place. That impact will definitely see more investments coming. Maybe a redo and reorientation of many of our corporates who are in other sector who get into this. The whole data ecosystems story has just begun. You set the rules for the data protection last November and got that act of which was passed in August 2023 functional. The number of data fiduciaries now getting into that itself is a big area. Now, once he has to perform, he has to relate to many of the other companies that would be in different layers of these things. So the semiconductor ecosystem you pick up, the data centers, the energy, the models that are being planned, very specific models, not always the large language models that you are trying to think that will go and compete with what has already been achieved. I think at every layer we will see much of investment. Monetarily, they might not be as guzzling or as impactful that you see that what has already been said. At least we have a comparison. The Chinese did it at cost much lesser than what the Americans have done, but maybe there is a middle path in which we create that space, and that is where I think Nirman also operates, because the best asset, Gautam, that we have in this country is we have very much AI-oriented workforce and talents available who are now becoming entrepreneurs. Earlier, you saw very less startups coming in this particular area. Everyone tried to think that, or go out of the country and all. Now here you are getting people who are very confident that they'll get the support, and that's where you will see a lot of investment. The venture capital funds are very busy here in India. Anyone whom I meet, they say that I am going after this startup. I saw Mr. Motwani also speaking the other day about I have already found my new charm. So these are the opportunities that we'll see investments across the whole value chain, and that is also something that is observed very minutely by many of the global south countries. Our effort, our story is very minutely observed so that they can also get into this bandwagon and see that they also get the right investments. So Professor was mentioning about Africa. I think that's a continent that is really virgin territory right now as far as AI is concerned, and that's where we can go. Even Indian companies can go and invest and get their act together.
I spoke about investment pitch and not investment commitments which have been coming in through the course of the recent months as well. But Nirman, there is also this concern about a bubble in AI as well, especially where investments are concerned, and we've seen stocks going up and down also recently. So AI is something that needs a lot of money, but perhaps strategically deploying it becomes even more important, which is why it's important to put across your vision, which has been done in this case.
I think different kinds of capital is required for different kinds of companies. And the application layer requires non-patient capital. You can give out return faster. But if you go down, further down, you require patient capital. And India is wise enough to understand this and is creating those structures. So whether the investments work out or not, that we will see. But I think all of this is working out and the results are being shown. So I don't think it is as risky or there is a bubble forming. We haven't even started, honestly. In India, we haven't even started yet in terms of delivering on AI. We've figured out our paths, we are laying down the bricks. Now we have to build our tracks. Then we'll build our trains. So still there's a long way to go, and a lot of human capital is required. A lot of brains are required to solve different kinds of problems. Like Prime Minister mentioned about quantum computing. We are investing in quantum computing. It's not a 5-year game. You're probably playing a 100-year game there. So you cannot call out there is a bubble in quantum computing because it requires patient capital. And there are multiple such avenues that India should be investing in. So there are going to be, let's say, companies that get formed that replace the global giants in let's say, a SaaS domain. But that doesn't mean there is a bubble. It only means that new form of value creation is happening. And as long as there is value creation, it's not a bubble. How those companies get valued, that's a side project.
Okay, Tata Group Chairperson N. Chandrasekhar said that they are in the process of adopting AI across the stack, so even manufacturing chips that are AI optimized, and that will actually produce chips for multiple industries. First one, they say, will cater to the automotive sector. Yes, as we speak about these international collaborations, Professor Chandrasekhar, there is also this New Delhi frontier of AI commitments that has been launched and agreed upon by these tech leaders, where one of the commitment is to strengthen multilingual and use case evaluations. So basically presenting these case analysis and sharing with all. Your take on that?
Well, this is a commitment that is amongst the CEOs of companies.
Yes.
So I think the government, the role of the government or governments across the regions, their role would be of facilitators. They can act as enablers in making sure these technologies, the multilingual platforms are utilized by countries of the global south. So I think that is a very good opportunity. Of course, CEOs and their companies have to act first, and then perhaps governments can chip in and make these technologies, make these facilities available, not only to people of India, but also those who are interested in it from other regions also. And I think during these speeches made at the summit, there was a mention of Africa. So I think that presents very good opportunities for these CEOs who signed or those who were there in the releasing or rather showcasing the New Delhi frontier commitments. So I'm very hopeful that it will have positive impact on the way AI uses has been perceived and has been seen across regions and countries.
Okay, so how do you see government's role here? On one hand, developing sovereign AI, and on the other, democratizing AI. So Prime Minister said that your data is your right, but at the same time, we have to take AI to everyone, to across nations, the vulnerable populations as well. What should be government's role here in balancing this tough act?
That's a very perceptive question. This is where I think I did mention securitization. There will come a point in the journey of artificial intelligence where it will reach to a level that it will have the potential to affect common people's life, boundaries, state boundaries, their national sovereignty questions, economies, and there was a mention of economic disruptions. I think President Macron mentioned it. When these questions of prominence, of national importance come in, countries will take steps and they will securitize it, connect AI with matters of national security, and therefore they will have regulatory powers to control it. When we say that these companies are sovereign, that means that they are not really, at the mercy or under control by big, giant multinational corporations. So I think sovereign only to the extent that countries which are based or which have allegiance to a particular companies that have allegiance to a particular country will remain confined there, and it will not be exploited by enemy countries or people, companies that have intentions or interests against India in this case. So I think data protection, data residing in India has a territorial notion to it. It also has a flag attached to it. So Indian companies will, of course, be honest and be loyal to the country, which does not mean that Indian government will exploit it. I think we have to distinguish between the two. How your data is stored in a particular city, in a particular space, in a particular country, and how that government of that country exploits it are two different things. We see and we know that data stored in China is directly accessible, fully accessible to the Chinese government. And they have the, so far the capability, but who knows, maybe the intention to exploit it against other countries and against their own people. Does India have that interest? So far, I don't think India has the intention to exploit this data against any other country or against its own people. And Prime Minister did mention transparency and moral and ethical standards. I think that is the guiding principle here. So I think that has to be also kept in consideration.
Yes, I think anonymization is part of the frontier commitments as well, and that can be inferred as something that will be perhaps metadata directed, Nirman, or what does it exactly mean if you anonymize things?
So you strip the data of personal identifiable information. So whose data is that is not going to be known, and that is why it's going to be stable, it's going to be secure.
So there should clearly be no facial identification and all that.
How but you cannot avoid using and storing the data, but who has access to it can be used. And I foresee Indian government playing a very big role in organizing data. So it's data at such a scale that you cannot just leave it to the private companies to organize it. Government should also take leadership in organizing, annotating that data such that model companies just focus on building the models and not do the spade work of trying to organize and annotate that data. And then the cost of building the model comes down substantially.
Okay. Another aspect that I think President Macron mentioned quite a bit, Shubhamal, was sustainable AI. That is also something that these countries are committed to. And that is also a major commitment because of the kind of energy requirements that AI has. So do you feel that that is somewhere where these countries coming together can make a lot of progress?
Oh, definitely. I think this energy layer becomes very, very important. The extent to which the server capacity is increasing and the extent of the performance that is required out of these servers, particularly the GPUs, is significant. And that is where looking at cleaner technology, clean energy technology, looking at liquid cooling as a concept that has been very successfully run in France and even in Europe, the areas in which how do you integrate more nuclear energy, renewable energy into this system. So this whole energy ecosystem becomes very, very important. You cannot create the whole AI ecosystem at that scale and keep on scaling it unless and until you find solutions about how do you utilize the energy that you have available at your disposal. I liked Nirman's point about using AI to find more better ways of energy and efficient energy management. So I think France has a lot of lessons to give to us. We have already put also that in the joint statement in the outcomes that were there about looking at this particular aspect. And more so, we have made a policy decision in the in the budget, as we announced, about giving the tax holiday to the people who set up data centers here in the country and all. So it will be imperative on our part, and which the government has already thought through, about how we are going to enable that we get the data centers invested here, which has the cleanest of the technology. They are some of the best of the green entities that you have, and you find the most efficient usage of energy. So I think there's a great compelling story from a bilateral point of view, and also an European perspective, the way they have built up the whole European model around Horizon and all. This is all around the green technology. So we have a story to tell, and possibly we also give a better understanding to the Americans also, who still now have been not been very efficient in terms of how they manage their data.
Nirman, do you concur? And do we have some promising work happening right now on making AI more energy efficient as well in India or in any of these countries which we seem to be having a common cause with, is where AI, developing AI is concerned?
I think nuclear energy is going to be like most important in all of this because it scales up well. And
modular reactors included.
Yes, and there's a lot of work that has also happened on the core technology of nuclear fission. So I believe if India can invest and scale that particular channel for deploying energy, yeah, it works out really well. Renewable energy in terms of solar, we've already invested heavily, even before AI. I think that is only going to scale up. The solar cells are also going to get more efficient. And in all directions, and there are multiple companies that are working in India, and let's say he mentioned about France, liquid cooling, that's like the most important part in running an efficient data center. So there is innovation happening in every part of that, the curve of innovation in energy. And probably next year you will keep hearing that this breakthrough has been achieved.
Okay, so even as we speak, the leaders at the Bharat Mandapam are visiting the India AI Impact Expo, and their results on day 4 of the India AI Impact Buildathon are out. So the team Siblings has won a first prize of 1 lakh rupees at the India AI Impact Buildathon. That's the latest we are getting from Bharat Mandapam. In a short while, we'll have the leaders of different states visiting the India Impact AI Expo. Yes, it's really a platform to build global AI solutions, as we're all discussing here, a platform for the indigenous AI models to replicate and be at par with the foreign ones. Yes, we have had 3 sovereign AI models launched at this India AI Impact Summit, Bharat Gen, then we had Gyani and Sarvam AI. And as we speak of AI's benefits, of course, the segment that will be really leveraging or leapfrogging this AI wave will be India's youth. And of course, let me get in a word by Professor Mishra. How do you see the role of Indian youth in in this advent of AI, the pluses and minuses here?
I think it's the biggest stakeholder, the strongest stakeholder and the biggest potential beneficiary of AI revolution is going to be the youth, the younger generation, Gen Z as we call them. They are the ones who have to really play their role, and they have to play it well in learning new things, in making good use of technology, in expanding their cognitive horizons, their professional skills. They are the ones who will be benefiting from skilling. The older generation is the one which will perhaps benefit from reskilling and lifelong learning. But it is really the youth who are at the cusp of this change, taking artificial intelligence and technologies alongside them and make India the Viksit Bharat. So a lot of responsibility on them, and I would say the elder generation looks forward to their substantive contribution in making India a great superpower.
But do you also see, Nirman, a bit of a dissonance there in terms of how the youth see AI and their future with AI? Some are pretty clear as to what they want to do, in their working lives, and some have been left a bit directionless.
I think you're absolutely spot on that many of us have been left directionless because things are changing so fast. And the expectation of companies, of individuals in terms of AI skill is also changing every day. So youth need to kind of focus on building their skills of using AI for becoming more skilled in their individual career paths.
I think the PM talked about lifelong learning.
And it's not going to stop. Like AI is only going to kind of become better every day. So the possibilities with AI that can be done is only going to change every day. What was not possible probably 1 month ago is going to get possible 6 months down the line. So if that is going to happen, all of us, including the Prime Minister, will have to keep learning. So it goes without saying.
Okay, and the move there to, ban AI facilitated abuse, basically regulate it, and of course France and India are on board to, protect the vulnerable population as regards to, AI facilitated abuse, threats for children. And in fact, one of the leaders also said that, I think it was Antonio Guterres, UN chief, who said that children should not be, the test subject for unregulated AI. Subhimal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when President Macron mentioned about now they also coming with this age bar around such content, I think that's a very significant statement because Australia has already started implementing it and many countries are looking at it. And when he spoke, he also mentioned that with India also the conversation has been there. So I think it's a very good step. And by the way, I must also tell that we have already taken a regulatory step in that direction already. On the 10th of February, the intermediary guidelines rules that were announced, that was on synthetically generated information, that means AI generated content, and that's where how do you deal with such content that has been very clearly defined. And on top of that, the time frame in which the content takedown notices were allowed earlier, it was 36 hours, and they have been reduced to 3 hours and 2 hours, depending on the category. So I think a lot of the concerns around children and being abused, or
even women for that matter.
Yeah, for that matter, yeah, they are both vulnerable sections of the society. So that steps we have taken from a regulatory perspective in the country. I think it will be now easier to look at even age bar. The question is, more of a societal that I worry about, that parents and all themselves indulge and give the devices and all to their children, and that is where the excess regulatory you might take, but on the ground, how much of change really can happen. That's where I think the societal impact also comes in, where you have to look at that schools, colleges, parents and all have to understand that how do you inculcate that responsible AI ecosystem in the children also with whatever content that is available.
Nirman, what is your perspective on this? Because Australia has become the first nation, for now the only nation, where nationwide the sort of a ban has been imposed that children below 16 need to be off social media altogether. And there are already reports that there are kids who are finding their ways around it. Should one, in terms of other countries, should they look at Australia's experience and then decide what they want to do, or should they just go ahead and do it and make it as universal as possible?
I think we should start doing it in some way already. And I think he said it the best way. Like, it cannot just be left to the government to get it right. Like, if I'm a parent as well, and I should not be leaving my child with a phone unattended, because he may just download a mobile app, which is a game, and what happens inside the game cannot be controlled. So, and there's no jurisdiction of an Indian government on that game as well then. So if my child is going to get access to that game, it's not government's fault, it's my fault.
Okay. Professor Rahul, I want your take here also on this very crucial point in the AI debate.
Point as well.
Heating point as well. As parents, should AI access be limited for their children, even as
let me
teachers?
just add, I am the parent of a 14-year-old. I haven't given him a phone yet. He has tablets, he has a laptop, but no phone yet.
Okay, so should AI be limited, AI access, should it be limited or totally banned for children under the age of 16?
I agree with this idea that social media should be banned for children under 16, because what we are worried about is not that children have access to things that they shouldn't be having access to, games and very violent games and so on and so forth. The first step in this direction is to protect children from getting harmed. And this is something that has been seen in Australia and the Western world, where children were bullied, they were harassed, including sexual harassment, and there have been a number of incidents in India as well. So I think stopping that is the first priority. Now, how the children and even within the family, how your son or daughter uses the phone, that is your phone, is totally up to your wisdom. I mean, there are apps that can be locked, and I think on all the phones you have the facility, you can lock your app and it will not be accessible to anybody but you. So I think that is something that can be done, but this involves a lot of family discipline rather than an individual getting access or not getting access to this. Because we must understand that in our age and time, it is not possible to keep the children away from internet and IT technology. You cannot keep them away from cell phones and iPads and what have you. So I think commendable that you've stopped your son from using the cell phone, but at one point you do have to open it. So I think
it's going to happen this year.
Indeed. Yes.
So I think regulation is a very good way. I think the middle path is the way.
It's so heartening to see that both debates are happening parallelly, to devise responsible AI and also to use it responsibly. I would like to thank all of you guys for being with us on this India AI Impact Summit's very impactful day. We've seen leaders make very responsible statements on democratizing AI, also yet having sovereign AI models, not fearing AI but embracing it, and really charting responsible AI for future which is for all.
Yes, and the family photo of the leaders, and not just that, the image that Prime Minister Modi had on the stage with all those leaders of the AI ecosystem in India and the big tech players as well. Those will be global headlines as well, because that really says that the approach that the world wants to take to AI is one that treads the middle path, and it will resonate in all corners and all capitals of the world. That's what's coming out of the India AI Impact Summit. For the moment, a lot more still to unfold. Remember, we have today as well as tomorrow to go where the summit is concerned, and we will be bringing you a lot of that as well.
Shaping AI for humanity, shaping AI for global good, welfare for all, happiness for all. I'd like to thank all our esteemed guests, Professor Rahul Mishra from School of International Studies, JNU, Subimal Bhattacharjee, a renowned IT expert, and Nirmal Agrawal, founder of Beanbag and TrueScale. Thank you very much for being with us on the show. News and updates on India AI Impact Summit continues on DD India. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.
गर फिरदौस बर्रुए ज़मीं است Welcome to Haryana, where the indomitable spirit of humanity unites. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Open your mind to a whole new world. Explore mystic wonders of Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar.
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi presents Manav vision to anchor India's human-centric AI push, says we should give open sky to AI while keeping command in our own hands. Prime Minister Modi underlines the need to democratize AI, says it must be inclusive and empowering, invites all to design and develop in India and deliver for humanity. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announces New Delhi Frontier AI commitments at India AI Impact Summit, says leading Indian AI companies are committed for inclusive and shared AI. French President Emmanuel Macron says he is determined to continue to shape rules with innovation and responsibility with allies including India, hails unified payments interface. Google CEO Sundar Pichai says, together we must pursue AI boldly and approach it responsibly. Anthropic CEO says India has a central role in shaping AI opportunities and risks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the global leaders at the India AI Impact Summit 2026 at Bharat Mandapam. The inaugural session featured addresses by French President Emmanuel Macron and United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, along with several leading figures from the global industry and technology sectors. In a speech, Prime Minister Modi thanked all the tech leaders who participated in the India AI Impact Summit and made it a success. He welcomed all the leaders on behalf of 140 crore Indians. Prime Minister remarked that in human history, every few centuries, a turning point emerges that resets the direction of the civilization.
पहली बार स्पार्क निकला, किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि वही चिंगारी सिविलाइजेशनल की फाउंडेशन बनेगी। जब बोली को पहली बार लिपि में बदला गया, किसी ने नहीं जाना था कि रिटन नॉलेज फ्यूचर सिस्टम की बैकबोन बनेगी। जब पहली बार सिग्नल्स को वायरलेस ट्रांसमिट किया गया, किसी ने कल्पना नहीं की थी कि एक दिन पूरी दुनिया रियल टाइम में कनेक्ट होगी। साथियों, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस मानव इतिहास का ऐसा ही ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है। आज जो हम देख रहे हैं, जो प्रिडिक्ट कर रहे हैं, वो इसके इंपैक्ट का सिर्फ प्रारंभिक संकेत है। एआई मशीनों को इंटेलिजेंट बना रही है, लेकिन उससे भी अधिक मानव सामर्थ्य को कई गुना बढ़ा रही है।
Highlighting the need for global standards, Prime Minister pointed out that deep fakes and fabricated content are destabilizing the open societies.
आज की एक बहुत बड़ी आवश्यकता ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाने की भी है। डीप फेक्स और फैब्रिकेटेड कंटेंट ओपन सोसाइटीज में अस्थिरता ला रहे हैं। फिजिकल वर्ल्ड में हम फूड पर न्यूट्रिशन लेबल्स देखते हैं ताकि हमें पता हो कि हम क्या खा रहे हैं। ठीक उसी तरह डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में कंटेंट पर भी ऑथेंटिसिटी लेबल्स होने चाहिए ताकि लोगों को पता हो कि क्या असली है और क्या एआई से बनाया गया है। जैसे जैसे एआई ज्यादा टेक्स्ट, इमेजेस और वीडियोज बना रहा है, वैसे वैसे इंडस्ट्री में वाटरमार्किंग और क्लियर सोर्स स्टैंडर्ड्स की जरूरत बढ़ती जा रही है। इसलिए ये जरूरी है कि ये विश्वास टेक्नोलॉजी में शुरू से बिल्ट इन हो।
Prime Minister Modi asserted that India sees fortune and future in AI, backed by talent, energy capacity and policy clarity.
आज दुनिया में दो तरह के लोग हैं। एक, जिन्हें एआई में भय दिखता है, वो हमेशा वैसी बात करते हैं। ऐसे लोग जिन्हें एआई में भय दिखता है, और दूसरे वो जिन्हें एआई में भाग्य दिखता है। और साथियों, मैं जिम्मेवारी के साथ कहता हूं, गर्व के साथ कहता हूं, हमें भय नहीं, भारत को एआई में भाग्य दिखता है, भारत को एआई में भविष्य दिखता है।
The Prime Minister asserted that the world is entering an era where humans and intelligent systems co-create, co-work and co-evolve. He thus said that AI will make our work smarter, more efficient and more impactful.
मुझे आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी है कि इस समिट में 3 भारतीय कंपनियों ने अपने एआई मॉडल्स और एप्स लॉन्च किए हैं। ये मॉडल्स हमारे यूथ के टैलेंट को दिखाते हैं और भारत जो सॉल्यूशंस दे रहा है उसकी डेप्थ और डाइवर्सिटी का भी प्रतिबिंब है। साथियों, भारत सेमीकंडक्टर और चिप मेकिंग से लेकर क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग तक एक रिजिलिएंट इकोसिस्टम बना रहा है। सिक्योर डेटा सेंटर्स, मजबूत आईटी बैकबोन, डायनेमिक स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम भारत को एफोर्डेबल, स्केलेबल और सिक्योर एआई सॉल्यूशंस का नेचुरल हब बनाते हैं। भारत के पास डाइवर्सिटी भी है, डेमोग्राफी भी है और डेमोक्रेसी भी है। जो एआई मॉडल भारत में सक्सीड करता है वो ग्लोबली डिप्लॉय हो सकता है।
Significantly, at the summit, India's Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announced what he described as a key outcome of the India AI Impact Summit. The launch of the New Delhi Frontier AI Commitments, calling the initiative a significant milestone. Ashwini Vaishnav said that top frontier AI firms and domestic AI players had come together to endorse a shared set of voluntary principles aimed at promoting inclusive and collaborative AI development.
Today, leading frontier AI companies, along with India's own innovators, such as Sarvam, BharatGen, Gyani and Socket, have come together to make a set of voluntary commitments that reflect a shared vision for inclusive and responsible AI. First, advancing understanding of real-world AI usage through anonymized and aggregated insights to support evidence-based policymaking on jobs, skills, and economic transformation. The second is strengthening multilingual and contextual evaluations of AI systems to ensure that AI works effectively across languages, cultures, and real-world use cases, especially in the Global South. Together, these efforts mark an important step towards shaping AI that is not only powerful, but also inclusive, development-oriented, and globally relevant. This initiative positions India at the forefront of building a global South-led perspective on AI governance, one that balances innovation with equity and real-world impact.
Ashwini Vaishnav described the summit as the first AI summit in the Global South and the biggest AI summit so far. He also reiterated Prime Minister Modi's vision for technology.
Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji believes that the true value of technology lies in ensuring that its benefits reach the masses. Our Prime Minister's vision is to democratize technology, deploy it at scale, make it accessible to all.
French President Emmanuel Macron said that the future of AI will be built by those who combine innovation and responsibility, and India and France will help to shape this future together. He also highlighted how technology has transformed everyday life for ordinary Indians. He praised India's unified payments interface, that is UPI, saying the country has accomplished what no other nation has, that is creating a digital identity system that serves all 1.4 billion citizens.
10 years ago, a street vendor in Mumbai could not open a bank account. No address, no papers, no access. And today, the same vendor accepts payments on his phone, instantly. Instantly, for free, from anyone in the country. And India built something that no other country in the world has built, a digital identity for 1.4 billion people.
Macron also said that platforms, governments and regulators should be working together to make the internet and social media a safe space for children.
One of our G7 priorities will be as well children's protection against AI and digital abuse. Our platforms, governments and regulators should be working together to make internet and social media a safe space. This is why, in France, we are embarking on a process to ban social networks for children under 15 years old.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres congratulated Prime Minister Modi for India's leadership in organizing the first AI summit in Global South. Addressing the summit, Antonio Guterres said that AI must benefit everyone. It can advance sustainable development goals, accelerate breakthroughs in medicines, improve access, to vital public services.
AI must benefit everyone. Done right, AI can advance sustainable development goals, accelerate breakthroughs in medicine, expand learning opportunities, strengthen food security, bolster climate action and disaster preparedness, and improve access to vital public services. But it can also deepen inequality, amplify bias, and fuel harm. As AI's energy and water demands soar, data centers and supply chains must switch to clean power and shift costs to vulnerable communities.
Google CEO Sundar Pichai said that we cannot allow digital divide to be AI divide. That means investing in computing infra, connectivity. He added that companies must also step building products that boost knowledge, creativity and productivity to help people achieve their dreams.
Visakhapatnam, Vizag. I remember it being a quiet and modest coastal city brimming with potential. Now in that same city, Google is establishing a full-stack AI hub, part of our $15 billion infrastructure investment in India. Today, over 3 million researchers in more than 190 countries are using it to develop malaria vaccines, fight antibiotic resistance, and much more. Last summer, for the first time, the Indian government sent AI-powered forecasts to millions of farmers, possible in part because of our neural GCM model. We're also building a vast network of subsea fiber optic cables, including 4 new systems between the US and India. As part of our America-India Connect initiative, tech companies must also step up, building products that boost knowledge, creativity, and productivity to help people achieve their dreams.
At the summit, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodori stressed that energy to build in India is palpable, unlike anywhere else. He said that India has an absolutely central role to play in shaping both the opportunities and risks of artificial intelligence. He also added that India, as the world's largest democracy, can emerge as a leader in addressing the economic, societal, and security challenges posed by advanced AI systems. Also emphasizing that India is building artificial intelligence at scale with trust, resilience, and long-term competitiveness, Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekaran stated that the country has treated AI as a strategic national capability, aligning the full stack from chips to systems to energy and to applications through Semicon India and also India AI mission, and most importantly, the recent reforms such as the Shakti Act for clean energy. All right, before we get you rest of the bulletin, we will take you live to the India Impact AI Summit. Just a while back, the world leaders visited the AI Impact Expo. Here in the visuals, we can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the world leaders, and they are taking stock of the stalls at the Expo and are acquainting themselves with what is being exhibited there. Here we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the 20 world leaders who have gathered at the India AI Summit, and they are visiting the Expo. It was, in fact, an eventful morning today when Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the India AI Impact Summit, and he also put forth the ambition of presenting AI technology for all. He presented the Manav vision to anchor India's human-centric AI push. This was what was highlighted by the Prime Minister in his address to the gathering today after inaugurating the India AI Impact Summit. In the visuals here, we see Prime Minister along with the world leaders who are present at the Expo to attend the Expo. They are being taken to various pavilions and they are being acquainted with what is being exhibited there. The Prime Minister also talked of how AI should be given an open sky, but at the same time, the command should be in our hands. The inaugural session, as we told you, was indeed eventful in the morning. The session featured addresses by the visiting dignitaries, and also the Prime Minister, apart from welcoming the dignitaries, he talked of how India is leading and shaping the AI revolution. Here on our screens, we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with the world leaders who have gathered at the AI Summit, taking stock of the pavilions, taking stock of the exhibitors who have gathered at the AI Summit, and they are being apprised, they are being acquainted with the exhibits at the pavilions. These are the visuals we are getting for you from Bharat Mandapam, where the world leaders have gathered at the Bharat Mandapam, taking stock of the pavilions, and they are led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A number of world leaders also addressed the gathering today, wherein they talked of how India presents a favorable atmosphere when we talk of growth of technology. At the same time, the Prime Minister also highlighted how the human touch for development of technology is important. When we talk of the AI Impact Summit, then this is themed at welfare for all, happiness for all, and this is underscoring India's push to become an AI powerhouse. AI Impact Summit 2026, that is being organized in Bharat Mandapam, and we did witness a significant attendance of the global leaders along with technology firms, both Indian and international, participating. Our correspondent Akshay is joining us to get us more. Akshay, on our screens we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the world leaders in getting acquainted with the exhibits at the different pavilions. You get us more. While covering AI Summit, what was it, if I ask you to put forth for us the important highlights of the summit, get us more as to what all was put forth by the world leaders when they attended. How is this a showpiece event for the world to see what progress we can make in technology, in AI, added to that, underlining Prime Minister's Manav push for technology for all?
Well, if you have to contextualize everything that happened today, you can sum it up in one line, if you will, that today the AI journey has once again.
Akshay, I'll interrupt you here on our screens. This is the family photo. India AI Impact Summit 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the world leaders, leading the international delegates who have gathered, who are present at the India AI Impact Summit 2026 at Bharat Mandapam. This is the family photo, the visual capturing the family photo of Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the world leaders at Bharat Mandapam, India AI Impact Summit 2026. Yes, Akshay, please continue. All right, we'll try getting back to Akshay in a while. But when we talk of the India AI Summit, this is in fact a large-scale summit, Expo, that is being organized in the national capital, Bharat Mandapam. And this summit is themed welfare for all, happiness for all. And it is underscoring India's push to become an AI powerhouse. When we talk of this year's summit, then this comes amid the exponential growth in AI technology, race to become self-dependent, and also its socio-economic impact, and also data sovereignty. These are some of the prime concerns, the prime issues that have been dealt with at the Expo. The summit also aspires to put India at the forefront of AI, and also to present to the world that Global South can also compete with the West when we talk of AI. Today, we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi address the AI Summit, the India AI Impact Summit 2026. After inaugurating it, he put forth how the humanitarian touch is important when we talk of development of technology. And also, he put forth India as a forefront contender for developing and excelling in AI. One of the major highlights of the event has been global partnership. The different leaders who have gathered here put forth their ideas of collaboration, and also when we talk of the summit, then it is important to see that with the West, with its advancements in LLMs leading to products like ChatGPT and Claude, interestingly, India has also been one of the largest consumers of AI as well. So this was what was put forth by the Prime Minister, that India can be a front runner in excelling with AI. He also talked of how the sky is the limit for AI. AI can be, taken to skies, but at the same time, the command should be in the hands of us. The Prime Minister also, in fact, talked of how human approach is important when we talk of excelling in AI. He said that he can't let humans become raw material. This was a very important point that was put forth by the Prime Minister. He said that humans should not be only a data point for AI. So a number of aspects were touched upon by the Prime Minister in his inaugural address today when he addressed the gathering after inaugurating the India AI Impact Summit 2026. This was the gist of the day. The bulletins that follow, we will get you more highlights. As of now, thanks for watching.
स्वागत आहे to Magnetic Maharashtra. Welcome to Jharkhand, the land of forests. Mesmerizing abundance of nature.